Devotions 101, Numbers. The Book of Numbers, also known as the Fourth Book of Moses or Bamidbar in Hebrew, is a book in the Hebrew Bible/Old Testament. It contains a record of the Israelites' journey from Mount Sinai to the borders of Canaan, including their wanderings in the wilderness, their encounters with various peoples, and the laws and regulations given to them by God through Moses. The book is called Numbers because it begins with a census of the Israelites, and it contains several other lists and accounts that involve numbers. The book also includes stories of rebellion, such as the story of Korah's rebellion against Moses and Aaron, and the story of the spies who explored the land of Canaan and brought back an unfavorable report. Overall, the Book of Numbers is an important part of the biblical narrative, as it records the Israelites' journey towards the Promised Land and their struggles and challenges along the way. It also includes important teachings and instructions on how to live according to God's commands. Here is an overview of the Book of Numbers with some notable Bible verses and explanations. Census of the Israelites, Numbers 1-4. The book begins with a census of the Israelites, conducted by Moses and Aaron. The purpose of the census was to determine the number of men eligible for military service. The total number of men counted was 603,550, Numbers 1:46. The census also included a separate count of the Levites, who were designated as priests and were not to be counted among the general population. Organization of the Israelite camp, Numbers 2. After the census, the Israelites were organized into 4 camps, each with its own flag and set of tribes. The Levites were placed in the center of the camp, around the tabernacle, the portable sanctuary that housed the Ark of the Covenant. Offerings and consecration of the Levites, Numbers 5-8. The book includes instructions for various offerings and sacrifices, including the grain offering, the sin offering, and the burnt offering. It also describes the consecration of the Levites, who were set apart as priests to serve in the tabernacle. Rebellion and punishment, Numbers 11-17. The Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, complaining about their situation in the wilderness and longing for the food they had in Egypt. God punished them with fire and a plague, and even sent a swarm of quail to satisfy their craving for meat. Later, Korah and his followers rebelled against Moses and Aaron, claiming that they had taken too much authority for themselves. God punished them by causing the ground to swallow them up. Spies sent to Canaan, Numbers 13-14. Moses sent 12 spies to scout out the land of Canaan, and they returned with a report that the land was indeed rich and fertile, but that the people who lived there were strong and numerous. Despite Caleb's urging to trust in God and take the land, the other spies convinced the Israelites that they could not conquer Canaan. As a result, God punished them by making them wander in the wilderness for 40 years, until a new generation could enter the Promised Land. Laws and Regulations, Numbers 15-31. The book includes a number of laws and regulations given by God through Moses, including instructions for the Sabbath, offerings, vows, and the purification of women after childbirth. It also describes the conquest of various territories and the division of the land among the tribes of Israel. Conclusion, Numbers 32-36. The book concludes with the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and half of the tribe of Manasseh requesting to settle on the east side of the Jordan River, rather than in the Promised Land. Moses grants their request, but warns them that they must help the other tribes conquer the land first. The book ends with a description of the boundaries of the Promised Land and instructions for the distribution of inheritance among the tribes.